Hello and welcome. First of all, hi. I'm Tricky. Thank you for the positive reception on my content so far. It means a lot. Wow, there's a lot to say. I'm sorry this has taken so long. I have made just about every mistake in the book when trying to record a long play for you, okay? I've recorded whole runs with my mic off, with my mic unplugged, with my camera off, with my camera freezing, with my camera covering up gameplay. I've recorded runs where the audio of the game and the mic are in the same channel and it becomes impossible to EQ. I've recorded whole runs where the file size ended up being too large and it gets corrupted. I've recorded whole runs where I simply wasn't happy with my commentary, runs where I wasn't happy with my play, and runs that I felt were too strong. But this one, I think, is good, and I have more on the way. And truth be told, I'm really not in the best living situation right now to sit down and record runs in one take for 2 or 3 hours while commentating them. But I just graduated college, so all that's about to change, and it's exciting and it's great, and give me like a month or so and I will have a green screen, a better mic, a better camera, and I will have your feedback as well. And yeah, if just let me know what you think about this sort of a long play style run. I am happy to make this the new standard of content for the channel, although I do believe in the current format of video that I have been uploading to the channel. I can't think of a name for those kinds of videos. Sped up run doesn't really sound great to me, so if you could think of a name for the kind of video that I do upload, let me know, because I have been beating myself up. I can't think of a name for it, and I have more of those. I have more of those on the way as well, and I do believe in that format of Slay the Spire content, because I do truly believe that you should not need to sit down for an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours, or God forbid 4 hours, to enjoy a run or to learn from it or to understand what's going on. And that's what this channel has always kind of been about, is how do we make easily digestible Slay the Spire content. And I'm not saying that I've perfected that formula or anything like that, so that's why I say, you know, any feedback is good here. Just let me know, because I have more of these on the way, more are coming, and once I am settled down in like a month or so, I am happy to try my hand at streaming. Right now that's just a whole world that I'm not ready to dive into just yet, but I am looking forward to it. And what else? Oh, my mods. I want to go over what mods I use. They're all quality of life stuff. I would highly recommend them. Mod the Spire is free and it makes the game a lot more fun, and like I said, this is all quality of life stuff. Recently, the developers recognized Downfall, which is really cool. I'm super happy for them, for the modding team there, because they put in a lot of work and it is really well done. Not Mod the Spire. Downfall is it's character mods, so you could play as Hexaghost, Guardian, Automaton, Gremlin Gang, Snecko, Champ, and did I already say Hexaghost? I'm the best Hexaghost player in the whole game, so not really. But you know what? I should upload some Downfall content. After this, I might just boot up Downfall and put some Hexaghost or Automaton. I have a nasty Automaton, actually. I might have to put some Downfall content out there, but yeah, recently they were recognized by the developers and they got their own store page in the Steam Workshop. The mod is also free. I feel like that's what it was. They got their own store page in the Steam Workshop. I don't want to be wrong, but anyway, it's really cool when developers of a game go, oh yeah, nice, nice job with that mod, you know, and offer their input on it. That's really, really cool, and I'm really happy that that they're like, yeah, mod our game, you know, because that's just a good sign when developers are happy about that kind of a thing, you know what I mean? because it's really well done. Anyway, so this is what I'm rocking right now. This is pretty much what I always use, and like I said, these are all quality of life. So BaseMod just comes with Mod the Spire, and yeah, like I said, if you don't have it, Mod the Spire is free, and it is only on Steam if I'm correct. You can't get these on Xbox or PlayStation. I don't want to be wrong again. You know, I'm not an expert on any of this, but colored map, this is great. I love this mod. It really helps pathing, and you can change this stuff to like whatever you want. You know what I mean? I have no idea what this was at before, so we'll just rock 75 for now. Yeah, this helps pathing a lot. You can make the colors straight up whatever you want, and highlight path is the same idea, helps pathing. Pathing is a lot of this game, so right click on those to highlight them, kind of get an idea where you want to go. Minty Spire, this is what stands out to me about this is like a compilation of low quality of life mods. What stands out to me is it displays the name of the boss when you go to the map. It just tells you who the boss is in like a little red text over a black text box. It tells you right here, instead of you having to scroll all the way to the top to see who the boss is for the act. So that's the one that stands out to me, but there's other stuff too. Displays total incoming damage if multiple monsters attack, and that is huge because I don't have a green screen, and sometimes this kind of covers up the enemy intent, so you can just see how much damage is incoming over the character's head, so that's very convenient. And then other stuff like make the merchant's hand transparent, just quality of life. And Relic Stats, this is Forgotten Arbiter's mod. This is, if you get any one mod, get Relic Stats. You would be surprised at how much HP something like Meal Ticket is saving you, you know? This should definitely be in the base game. I love this. Permanent Neow, so you could argue that this mod impacts gameplay. Really what it does is it just gives you the 4 bonuses in any given run, instead of what it normally is, which is if you die before reaching the Act 1 boss, you have to pick enemies in your next 3 combats have 1 HP, or you pick max HP. Let's be real, no one picks the max HP. So I think this is good for just getting better, because enemies in your next 3 combats have 1 HP is a little bit dishonest of a way to approach Act 1, right? This teaches you how to play with the other bonuses better, and not that I'm saying that you should get this mod and then throw perfectly good runs into the ground and die a bunch in Act 1, but take a floor 0 transmutation every now and then, okay? It's good for the soul. StsLib, I'm told this just comes with Mod the Spire? Or I'm told that you just need this. I don't remember. I downloaded Mod the Spire like over a year ago, but it's just keywords for other mods to use. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But it's there. OJB's info mod, this is the potion chance mod. So it tells you your potion chance up here in the top right, which is nifty. And you can hover over your gold. It's got other stuff too, but you can hover over your gold and it will display a drop-down menu of what stuff in shops cost, like what the cost threshold for a shop relic is, or a rare card is. This is all information that you would have available to you, or would be able to calculate if you were playing for something like win rate or win streak. This is all information that you could find on the wiki, so it's not compromising to the integrity of the game to figure out how much your next card remove costs, for example, by hovering over your, like if you forget how much your next card remove costs, this has a little, you can hover over your gold and it displays how much that will be too. And that tends to be, if you have seen some of my other videos, sometimes I'll hover over my gold, and that's typically what I'm doing. I'm trying to I just didn't keep a track in my mind of how much the next card remove should cost, but yeah, just useful stuff. The potion chance is fun. You can kind of see if you're being scammed out of potions in a given act or not. Quick restart. This gives you, you go up to your settings And then it has a new run button right here. So you don't have to abandon run, go to the main menu, go to, you know, standard, click on character, and then begin run. You could just go up to settings in the middle of a run, hit this new run button, and it puts you right back at the start with your 4 bonuses. So you could, in theory, choose the silent, look at your 4 options, go up to settings and hit new run, look at 4 new bonuses, and just do this until you get the option to choose a rare card, and then you pick grand finale. And then fast multicast, that's the last one. This is a great mod. Multicast has such a long animation time, and I don't even know, like, it's so just, why does this have such a long animation time? You ever multicast for like 50 or something, and you're just sitting there? So I'm really, shout outs to Jerry, man. This needed to be done. I love this. Multicast is one of my favorite defect cards. So I think that just about covers it all. I think I might have to load up some Downfall and put some content for that out there, because that is becoming more popular as well, and there's really not a whole lot out there on it, and I want to give my refreshing take on the Hexaghost. But alright, that should do it. I hope you enjoy this run. Like I said, let me know. Any feedback is good, and you guys are awesome. Thank you once again. Enjoy the run, and peace. Let us play the Slay the Spire Ninja character. The Silent Ninja. Miss Ninja, Mrs. Ninja. Maybe someday. Okay, let me stop. So we're looking at common relic or damage for gold. It's Hexaghost, taking damage for gold. Taking damage as a downside in a Hexaghost act is totally, well, it's better, because Hexaghost turn to attack scales based on your current HP anyway. And I mean, take damage, rest here if you need to, never die, floor 2 shop, 250 gold's insane. Onward. Onward. This dude's at like 24 total. This dude's at, I think you're supposed to, what's left in the draw pile? 2 strikes, 3 defense, and a Sender's Bane. In other words, if 1 strike is at the bottom of the draw pile, what I'm saying is I don't think you're supposed to neutralize this guy, because we're being weakened next turn. So I think you're supposed to, does that make sense? Like, if 1 of these strikes is at the bottom of the draw pile, then you could take damage in this fight, and there's really no reason, because both of these dudes can attack you for 8. If this dude is at 5 health still, and you pop this guy, shell last turn, the curl up, to curl him up, if I can talk. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, there's no reason to take damage in this fight. I mean, it's just kind of like an obscure situation to be in. I like these early hallway fights because they're like little puzzles that you can solve. For the most part, sometimes you just take damage and it feels bad, but it was just because neither of them was attacking, and because we drew Survivor and Neutralize on turn 1 when neither of them were attacking. I love Skewer. There's tons of ways to make Skewer strong. Let me get Chemex one time. Akabeko. Akabeko Skewer has arrived. 7 damage X times is good. 15 damage X times is a bit better. So what are we actually trying to do here now? There's ideas of going to this shop, if this is like World of Goop or Serpent right here. Other than that, I do like the idea of going to another shop. You could say Akabeko Skewer makes you strong enough to rush the Super Elite. Keep in mind you are playing the Silent. Silent is known for being a bit weak in Act 1. And hey, you know, rest here or whatever. You need to upgrade Skewer right here, really. But what I'm saying is this is hard pull. Yeah, so this is hard pull. Hard pull. Elite. Hard pull. Super Elite. You could just die. Like, I wouldn't do that. Maybe it's okay. We'll see. But if this gives you gold, there are ideas of going to this shop. What's really going on in this act? So there's 3 elites this way, another shop this way. You're kind of elite before a fire. I'm not super fond of right now because we really kind of have an obligation to upgrade our skewer, because we can lean into this Akabeko skewer forever. So what I'm thinking is something like this. Couple of fights after we upgrade skewer, a lead, and then you could rest here if you need, or whatever. Then we can buy whatever relic is in this shop if we want, and Chemex, and another elite. I like it. Let's do something like that. What's the other moves? That's it. Okay. You could buy a potion. I want to make sure we have enough money to afford Chemex if it is there, because that would be something. So this is actually a really good event right now. This is a good event right now for us, and I'll kind of show you why. But it has to do with the fact that our deck is now 12 cards. Alright, so I was hoping for either this or this to be a remove event. Let me show you. So basically we want to Akabeko skewer. And now we have 5 cards left in our draw pile, because our deck is 12 cards, 7 cards starting hand, 5 cards left in the draw pile. That means that it's impossible for skewer to be the last card in the draw pile, which means that our chances of being scammed in this act are very slim. Kind of a crude way to put it, I guess. But if this game is to make us lose, also energy potion's fantastic. If the game is to make us die in this act, it will be because we added cards that we did not need to add, and skewer ends up being the last card in our draw pile, and we held off on playing attacks because we wanted Akabeko on the skewer, but you know, we don't see skewer till turn 3 and then it misses the reshuffle. That's how you lose in this act, and we'll get into that more. Like, I would want to draft this now, but this is so like critical. I'm just gonna cling onto the skewer for dear life, and you know, like, we'll just get into more. We'll get into more fights, of course, but that's something that we do have to keep in mind, is just that this 12 card number, and this goes for the number 17 as well. Like, if this is Gremlin Knob or Centuries and you draft a 13th card here, you better be worth it, because you're allowing the game at that point to give you skewer as late as turn 3, and it will miss the reshuffle, and you will have spent turns 1 and 2 not doing any damage, because this is too important to make this strong, so you can't waste it on a strike. I mean, anyway, it's just, you keep that sort of thing in mind, like how many cards are actually in your draw pile, because it's important when you play this character in Act 1. It's like, if you have 18 cards in your deck, Dagger Spray could just be at the very, very bottom against Sentries, and then you're losing. I want to, not necessarily losing, but you get what I'm saying. I want to make sure we have enough money for Chemex if it actually is in the shop. So normally, I mean, this is a good deal on potions at the end of the day. I think a lot of times you're just supposed to take 3, but if a shop relic is, it can be 173 gold. Let's make sure we have enough. We'll buy 1. Easy. Game is easy. Let's do the good old 18 by 3. There's so many ways to make skewer strong. I love concentrate skewer. And then you can start doing things like taking reflex. That is, ooh, how bad are we expecting Chemex? Okay, so this is kind of what I'm talking about though. Like, you might say, oh, well, we have AoE problems, so we need to take fumes for sentries, or we have scaling problems, so we need to take noxious fumes for Hexaghost. The thing is that at that moment, you're allowing yourself to fight Gremlin Knob here, and Skewer could just be the very last card of your deck. Like you draw 7 cards and then you draw 5 cards, and the last one's Skewer. You're maybe in some trouble. Granted, you do have this energy potion. I'm always looking for an excuse not to take poison. So, I want to save this energy potion for Hexaghost. That's the thing. Because this is 36 damage for us right now, right? And Akabeko Skewer 48 damage, goodbye. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Same goes for Bouncing Flask. Like, you might want to take this because it's Hexaghost, and you need some scaling damage and poison, and oh, you gotta get the poison for the poison deck, right? No, because then you're actually even worse against Sentries, in my opinion. And same goes for Fumes. Like, if you take that Fumes last floor, I mean, I'm still playing Skewer. If we draw Fumes and Skewer on the same turn, I'm just playing Skewer because this gets rid of a whole Sentry. And anyway, I'm gonna pass on this. I'm gonna say Energy Potion and Brew are more important than Block Potion. We're mad strong right now, and all we've at Vajra Akabeko Skewer, incredible. How does Lagavulin like the Vajra Akabeko Skewer? Yes. 250 gold is such a strong start. Like, you just get so much direction. Alright, so Skewer's not the last card in the draw pile on the reshuffle, and that's what we like. This is gonna be a very strong run. The Marbles Akabeko Vajra Skewer. This is good. This is gonna be a strong start. Same goes for this. Like, don't take it here, because you're just allowing the game to really mess you up. Because now we have this. Like, you just need to see this Skewer on turn 1. So, yeah, I'm a pass. These are some hilarious common relics. That's like a really funny common relic lineup. Just screams Skewer. I guess you just upgrade Neutralize here. Feels like eating your vegetables to upgrade Neutralize. But it makes sense. Hexaghost tends to make you draw Neutralize when it's not attacking. Anyway. Just one time? One time, let me get the Chemex. One time. Aw. So there's a couple things going on here. You know, we actually, this is on sale, and it dumps Akabeko Vajra. I like this, because it's on sale. And, I mean, we could have bought membership card, but I'm more inclined, because we can't do membership card, this Dagger Spray, and card remove. This 13, the 12 card number really is just crucial enough to me that we'll go ahead and remove it. And we remove Strike, because now, you know, we're just interested in dumping Akabeko and Vajra into Skewer and Dagger Spray. Like, this is 26 damage now for 1 cost AoE. That's good. So this will be our way to take care of Sentries if this is Sentries. And also we're looking at next act, Slavers, Gremlin Leader. I like it. What else? You could have bought this, I guess, with the Brew. Might have been the play. I'm happy with what we did, but you could buy Potion Belt just to give this Entropic Brew more value. Move along. That's why we get that Dagger Spray. I think that you're supposed to just block twice here. And see, that's why this 12 card number is so important to me, because if you drafted like a Fumes or something, or that Flask, you'd have 6 cards in your draw pile. You're just letting the game put Dagger Spray on the very, very bottom. And then you just went the first 2 turns, the whole first cycle through your draw pile, doing no damage. And then Dagger Spray just misses the reshuffle. And you have to draw through all of the Dazed over again until... And then your deck has to reshuffle again. And then, you know... Anyway. Like, drafting is more than just... Like, now, Dagger Spray just got reshuffled into our draw pile. and we get it again. Like, granted, you know, it could have been anywhere in here, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, this is a thing. Y'all know about me and the Smiling Mask, right? Okay, so we can take this, because this is a really good card. Calculated Gamble is just a good card. Like, I don't know why people don't just draft this. Like, this is insane. Just this card, like, it stops you from being scammed. Now, if we don't draw either of these turn 1, but we draw this on turn 1, then we can Marbles, Akabeko, Vajra, Dagger Spray against Gremlin Leader. Or Marbles, Akabeko, Vajra, Skewer against Book of Stabbing. Or against Hexaghost in the near future. But I think we're probably pretty good against Hexaghost. With this energy pot and all of this, we could really mess up Hexaghost. Yes. Oh, but you would be so happy now if you had the Fumes or the Flask or the... Oh, man. Oh, man, I guess I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play Silent, man. How am I going to beat Hexaghost now? I must say that Energy Pot and Brew are more relevant than whatever that was. Skill Potion. Ooh, the Energy Pot. Akabeko, Vajra, Marbles, Skewer. That was kind of nasty. I'm gonna do this, try to pull a Cinder's Bane out of the draw pile. Aw. Oh well. I don't think we even need to pop this open. Like, the fight's almost over. Turns out you could just front load the whole game. I think that you're supposed to gamble all 4 of these. I don't think you're supposed to neutralize and then gamble. If you do this, then you draw these 3. I can't talk. If you neutralize and then you gamble, you draw these 3. Cool. You play all of them, whatever. Then Hexaghost puts 2 burns in your discard pile. You'll have no cards in your draw pile. Everything is reshuffled. And you got to... you get all your cards, but there are 2 burns in here. In other words, what I'm saying is I think you're supposed to gamble all 4 of these. Now Hexaghost puts the burns in the discard pile. And you get to see all this stuff before you have to confront those 2 burns. So it just saves you... It saves you a couple of card draws, because now you just don't have to file through so many burns. At the same time, Skewer's missing the reshuffle, so it's okay. It's alright. I think this deck is pretty slim. We drafted like nothing. So, but that's okay, because we want to see Skewer, and Skewer wants to see us. You know, Skewer appreciates it when we put all of our energy into it, and in turn, we end up doing pretty well. So all we need to do is see Skewer to win the fight next turn, or the turn after. So like, as long as Skewer just is not the last card in the draw pile, then we should be fine, and we still have this. So I think that, because I don't think you're supposed to gamble away and look for Skewer. Maybe you are, but that might, who knows. Like, okay, yeah, so I mean, it's just, and this is also 7, 10, we're good, we're good. I think, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay, so Adrenaline for the Akabeko Vajra, Marbles Adrenaline Skewer, right? You know I have to. I can't resist it, I'm sorry. Tripper for the 4 Energy Akabeko Vajra Marbles Skewer. Smiling Mask, by the way. We're mad strong in this act, by the way. We're like actually so strong. Looking at something like this. And I like the events in this act. Looking at Augmenter, looking at Library. We could even, I guess not Bites, because we remove so many strikes. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I know that I'm interested in this though. Get some events, some fights, get strong. We're actually just destroying this act with these 3 relics. Man, I don't know why people hate Grand Finale so much. It's like 0 cost, 50 damage. Like, what's the problem? Oh, you would just be so happy right now if you took the fumes. If you took the fumes, you would be so happy and you would just have lost all your money in this fight. Ooh. You know, okay, so Noloth's gift is good. Alright, Noloth's gift is good. You're looking at more after image, you're looking at malaise. There's still the prospect of Chemex. Chemex malaise. Chemex doppelganger with the Chemex skewer. Looking at more doppelgangers, looking at malaise. Wraith form after image, nightmare, grand finale, alchemize. At the same time, this deck does not need a lot to win. It really just needs card draw, and granted, Noloth's gift is also maybe more adrenalines. At the same time, maybe it's replacing a potential card reward like Reflex, because Reflex would be insane here. We need acrobatics. We need card draw real bad. Like, an expertise would even be pretty good here. We just need card draw. And those come in the form of common and uncommon cards on silent, like, besides adrenaline. There's also, okay, so we're not losing Ring of the Snake. Like, I'm putting my foot down there. We're not losing Ring of the Snake. I don't really want to lose Vajra. Like, we're strong in this act, and this run does not need that much to win. It just does not need more Grand Finale or more Nightmare or Wraith form or after image or whatever. Like, we really just need Reflex, acrobatics, tactician, concentrate. Like, concentrate with the skewer. That's the stuff we're looking for. Commons and uncommons. So I'm actually just gonna leave here. I'm gonna leave here, and I think that this is the right play. Also, this might just be relevant. Like, it might just be relevant. It felt relevant against Hexaghost. Like, I don't want to do this. It makes us immediately weaker, and in the long term, we're just looking for some commons and uncommon cards. We kind of just own this act. I'm not even a little bit worried about Collector, and Chemex one time. I like this. I like the backflip. 7 card starting hand, turn 1. Akabeko, Vajra Marbles, Skewer against Collector. Turn 2, Collector summons the minions. 7 cards remain in draw pile. Draw hand for turn. Backflip into Grand Finale on turn 2. Turn 1, Akabeko, Vajra Marbles, Skewer. Turn 2, backflip Grand Finale. I like it. Let's move along here. That should do. That should be just fine. Good fight. Amazing. Beautiful. This card's insane, by the way. Like, if you're not aware, this card is insane. We just gamble it away, and then we have a 6 energy Akabeko Vajra Marbles Skewer. That's nice. So, and it's already upgraded. There's not a whole lot we even need to upgrade right now, so that kind of doesn't make me want to go here. I'll take the fact that Tactician is already upgraded as a sign that we should go and take this elite right here. Also, Smiling Mask does exist. At the same time, there is still the prospect of Chemex. So, hold off on the shop for now. Really, guys? Come on. Okay, I guess we do only have these two for discard. But that's kind of that's an embarrassing hand. Well, we need to upgrade the defense at the very least. That is probably productive. Just to see. Oh. Oh no. Oh man. Is that enough? I feel like that's enough. How much is that? Is that like 168? Akabeko Vajra Marbles Energy Pot Skewer. Oh, thank you very much for the Coffee Dripper Dreamcatcher True Combo. Wraith Form. It doesn't feel right to... It doesn't feel right to take that. After turning down the Loth's Gift, after saying we don't need Wraith Form, I'm pretty sure I said those exact words. I didn't say those exact words. I said we don't need rare cards. But we don't need Wraith Form. I don't think we need it. I mean, you see that? Look at these potions too. Like we're destroying this act. All we need are some card removes, like an Acrobatics, Reflex would be fantastic. Like a Reflex would really be the good stuff here. Reflex would be the good stuff. Gamble with the Reflex and Tactician. I'm gonna say no. You're supposed to take it. You're supposed to take it and upgrade it at the next Spire. Like this. But I'm not going to. I don't think we need it. Also, we didn't get offered a rare card last act, did we? That's kind of a scam. Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't need them. How about that? We don't need rare cards, aside from this one. Let's upgrade it. I'm gonna upgrade it because, I mean, granted, we do have, like, some relics to augment the strength of this. But this upgrade is kind of relevant. It seems like it's not, but there's a lot of enemies like slavers who chill around, you know, 48 health, 48 to like 51 health. If you're weak, this is doing 37 damage, unupgraded. We have Vajra, so it'd be 38. When this is upgraded, the weak makes this 45. With the Vajra 46. So that's actually, that kind of matters because slavers are at about that 47, 50-ish health range. Also, just if it's max HP slavers coming up, because that's super elite, yeah. So like if it's max HP slavers, then you're getting them. Also, just next act like Darklings and Triple Jaw Worm, this kind of closes that threshold of HP. So it's. And also birds exist, like we're still in, or we're gonna be in Hardpool next. Like Triple Cultist, Birds, Triple Cultist and Birds, the upgrade for Grand Finale matters as well. So, okay, this is embarrassing. It's actually kind of embarrassing. We have to attack pot this. Like there's just no reason to not attack pot this. You're just not getting any value from Akabeko Vajra marbles on this turn. Like that's terrible. This dude has 170 HP and it's a strength book. There's just no reason to mess around. Easy. This game is easy. This game is so easy. I don't know what to say. Just energy pot this. I'm gonna just energy pot it. Do you ever defend here? Nah. It's taking away like 20 or so damage. I just want to draw this skewer like next turn. Next turn would be great if we could just draw the skewer next turn. That would be great. Something like backflip into skewer. Backflip skewer. Gamble backflip into skewer. Yeah, that's just I mean, we can't do anything about it now, but that's the idea, right? Fantastic. Beautiful. You know, Grand Finale is just... Oh man, Grand Finale is really just a terrible card overall. You know, if only Silent had a common card that drew 3 and upgraded to draw 4, that would really make Grand Finale a lot better. Also, if Silent had 2 extra cards in her starting hand, that would be really helpful too, huh? I don't think we have a right to turn down pair. I think we're gonna upgrade this Acrobatics here. That's the new plan. And we're gonna get some Juzu Bracelet value out of these. I don't think we have the right to turn down pair here. It doesn't really matter what the last chest relic is in the last act, you know, Act 3. We'll get the blue key in Act 3, is what I'm saying. I think most important is to make sure we just live now, and we'll figure out. We got Smiling Mask, in case, because the circumstance is, really, if you take key here, then it's gotta kind of be just because you want to be able to take Cursed Key as a boss reward, and because you want more energy for the Akabeko Vajra Marbles skewer. So then it's like you take key here so you can take Cursed Key, so you don't have to open the chest in Act 3 to take a curse. At the same time, we have Smiling Mask if that scenario comes into play, so we could remove a curse for pretty cheap. Anyway, I'm kind of scatterbrained, so we just take this because we don't want to die. And let's go Tactician. Okay, so Tactician is finally... Tactician's playing with this. It's a nice potion. Let's get this Acrobatics upgraded. Even though it might be better to not upgrade it, it's hard to tell. 7 card starting hand, 9 cards remain in the draw pile. Acrobatics to draw the last 4 cards from the draw pile, right? So you have a 7 card starting hand, 9 cards remain, next turn draw 5, play Acrobatics to draw the last 4 into turn 2 Grand Finale. That's the idea. That's the current idea. That's good. Sometimes you might not want to upgrade Acrobatics. If you're in that kind of situation, does that make sense? Like if we have a 15 card deck, then turn 1 you draw your 7, then you have 8 cards left in your draw pile, so you want to be able to play Acrobatics into Grand Finale on turn 2. Sometimes you don't upgrade this for that reason, so you just got to do a little bit of card counting, you know. But in this case, it's good. We have a 16 card deck, and it gets a little hard to kind of theorize those things when you have a card like Gamble or just multiple cards that draw cards. Anyway, moving right along, Smiling Mask. Ooh. I don't feel like doing this right now. I just don't feel like doing this right now. Some days I would, but not this one. Let's keep this one simple. Simple and clean. I think you're supposed to buy Bag of Prep. You're supposed to buy Bag of Prep with Akabeko Vajra Marbles. Make sure you get the value, because one thing that we have not been doing this act is, without the aid of potions, making sure that we get the value. You know what I mean? Because judging from, what I'm saying is judging from a couple of those opening hands of ours, we could use a Bag of Prep, maybe. At the same time, maybe we just need a card remove. I'll keep it simple. Like, maybe buying Bag of Prep is better. I think that we're approaching the end game very rapidly, and I would rather just get in a position where we're able to cycle our deck very quickly in the heart fight. In fact, I'm not really interested in drafting like any cards at all anymore for the rest of the run. Acrobatics Backflip Survivor with this Tactician Plus. This is a block positive infinite alone, you know, like all of this. And we have damage. We've had damage solved for this run. So really, all I'm interested in next act is spamming events to look for stuff like Winding Halls and Sensory Stone and Falling to get Juzu Bracelet value as well. And Smiling Mask for card moves. That's pretty much it. So, onward. That was a good floor. Although the 15 cards in the draw pile thing does kind of mess up the acrobatics thing I was talking about just a minute ago. Because now, for example, if we wanted to do something like Skewer past turn, we in fact cannot resolve Grand Finale next turn. Draw 5 cards, 3 cards remain in the draw pile, and how are you drawing 3? You know what I mean? So, but it's all good, because you could gamble away all of these. This is 6 cards that you would be tossing, and you would anticipate drawing Backflip. And then you could Backflip Grand Finale. Or you could anticipate drawing Acrobatics. So if we want to just anticipate drawing Acrobatics, and this is kind of the magic behind Grand Finale, is you do things like this. So let's start with this. And then if we do this, this is drawing 5. So that's no good, right? So we're trying to make it so that there are 4 cards remaining in our draw pile, and we just anticipate drawing Acrobatics. And if we don't get it, then that is okay, because we're still doing very well. And if we do get it, well, then suddenly we are we look like we're really good at the game, you know? And if it just doesn't make it, then whatever, you block, or because the whole point is that Grand Finale does not have to be the only thing that your deck does, but you know, you kind of prep for it in these little ways, and when it unfolds, you know, does that make sense? Because like you could give away the 6 cards anticipating Backflip, or you could do the anticipate Acrobatics thing. I don't know which is actually better, but that one allowed us to play a really big Skewer, so I liked that line a little bit more, and it let us weaken Gremlin Leader as well. So we're doing well if we don't get that Acrobatics in the Grand Finale right there from Calculated Gamble, but we're also doing well, you know what I mean? Like, we're also ending the fight and looking very good if we do get it. So Chemex? I'm kind of losing faith in the Chemex at this point. Watch us be an event shop, and watch us be unable to afford Chemex. I swear. I swear. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, no. I'm not a fan of Writhe at the moment. We could just recall here. Voice crack. We could just recall here. At some point, we're interested in upgrading Backflip. At some point. And then we could take Fusion Hammer. Let's just recall. Disrespect Collector a little bit. The reason why we would upgrade Backflip is because I anticipate using that to infinite block against the heart. So this is an issue because next turn it's going to be hard to resolve Finale. We don't have anything that draws 3 to draw the last 3 cards. Am I recording? Okay, I wanted to make sure everything's recording well. Okay. Aside from, you know, we could do, maybe there's some magic with Gamble that we could pull off. Like, we just don't draw Grand Finale next hand, but we draw Gamble, so we do something like defend, neutralize, gamble for 3 cards into Finale. That would be the idea. But, you know, we got Ghost, and okay, so it's not meant to be, that's fine. I think that you're supposed to... Okay, so this is kind of like the situation against Hex Ghost, right? So you could gamble all 4 of these away, and then you would draw these 3, and then your discard pile gets reshuffled and as your draw pile, and then you draw 1 more card, and then Gamble would go to your discard pile after all that. You agree? Like, we play this, we draw 3, our discard pile gets reshuffled into our draw pile. We draw one. Then gamble would go to our discard, and that's not what we're super interested in. So I think what we're supposed to do is like we did against Hexaghost. I think we neutralize, well, kind of the opposite of what we did against Hexaghost, rather. Because we want this gamble to be in the discard pile, and then we want to do backflip or acrobatics so that we can see that gamble again. Does that make sense? So we can play this. We're reshuffling our discard pile into the draw pile. It's going to be 7 cards. It's going to be, I think you're supposed to do it this way. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then you do this. And then you've got 6 cards in hand, 5 cards remain in draw pile, 6 cards in hand. Like, you got a backflip here because there's no way you can finale next turn anyway. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know why people don't like this card. It's 1 cost 50 damage AoE. 1 cost 50. Like, what are you supposed to, you know what I mean? Alright, is this the same situation that we were in where you want to, in fact, do like dagger spray and gamble 5 away so you can backflip? I think that's right. Because now gamble goes to the discard pile, and now you backflip. And, maybe not. Maybe I got a little greedy. But who knows, that's just the magic of the card, because that's just the magic of the card. Aw. You're supposed to not get drawn right there. Grand finale. I'm gonna go on a limb and say we're not supposed to even play dagger spray. Because we're resolving grand finale. And that's just how it's gotta be. Alright, so if you do this, you're reshuffling the discard pile into the draw pile at 7 cards. We just did that, and it was no good. So, how about we try for 9 cards? You know, how about we try it for 9? In other words, something like neutralize, defend. So now this is 11 cards in the discard, and then you backflip out here. Okay, the idea was to have acrobatics in here, anticipating next turn acrobatics into finale, but we could also just rip this right now, and we're just counting on not drawing grand finale right now. Okay, so like we got it next turn. So you just put yourself in these situations over and over again. Like it's this kind of deck where you're trying to resolve this, it's like just a giant if-then statement. You know what I mean? And at the same time, we could just close out the fight right now. Oh, that's not closing out the fight, though. It's pretty close. Yeah, I guess we just... It's pretty close. You're not supposed to... It's like either... Or maybe you are supposed to block. Like, maybe you are supposed to. And then next turn, just do this. That'll do. Fan is a little bit more block than this. Alright, so we gamble 4 away. Easy. adrenaline for me. Man, I bet you silent discard synergies would be a lot better if there was just a relic, like a boss relic, that gave you free energy for discarding cards each turn. Oh, wait. With the time slug? Oh, man. Uh-oh. This deck is in some trouble. Better not play cards against this guy. Okay, so Juzu Bracelet, by the way. So Smiling Mask is getting value here and here. The thing is that we're just not really doing anything in fires. So I don't want to go to too many fires. We've also already recalled. There's really nothing to upgrade. I like this. Get like a mix of events and elites. We don't have to take a bunch of elites. Like, we are totally fine against the elites. Really all we need is stuff like Sensory Stone. Stuff like card remove. Maybe you are supposed to get Smiling Mask value, but I like the events in this act a lot. I just like the events a lot. This adrenaline should help quite a bit. We need like one more card remove, and then we could turn one grand finale there by backflipping. If we drew backflip and if we got one more card remove, that's the idea. We're saving the Akabeko for the Akabeko grand finale plus. Yes. Just throw all this away. Look for acro and backflip again. Backflip into acro. Oh man. Nice. Well laid plans. So I don't want to take well laid plans. Oh whoops. There we go. I don't want to take well laid plans. Because I don't think we need it. The deck is so slim, it just needs some removes. And yeah, well laid plans is insane with grand finale. Like, you know, I like to joke, but oh, the acrobatics thing. Oh man, grand finale is such a bad card. If only Silent had a common card that drew 4. Oh man, grand finale is so bad. If only Silent had a card that discarded her whole hand and drew an amount of cards proportional to the amount you discarded. Oh man, grand finale is so bad. If only Silent had a card that retained cards for next turn. I just like messing around. I don't think you need this. Like, I think everyone would pretty much just snap pick it here, but you should just not be needing that to win. You really should not need it. We get 1 card remove, like 2 card removes. Really, this deck at the end of the day, once Adrenaline and a Cinder's Bane exhaust, is only 14 cards. And if we could just get like 2 card removes, squeeze out a 3rd one somewhere, if we get Sensory Stone into Purity, or really anything, like Sensory Stone, there's a ton of stuff that could really crack the deck out from Sensory Stone. Even something like Forethought, under the right circumstances, could crack this deck out. Like, this is a block positive infinite as is. You just shouldn't need well-laid plans. You can use, like, we'll just play the run and I'll kind of show you as it goes. But I think that this card, like, you can use discard mechanics to kind of control what you draw on the following turns, you know? Like, even in that last fight, it shouldn't be too hard to see. And even in the collector fight, like, there are several instances where we were like, do we want to draw that next turn? Yes, no, okay. And you could do that for this deck on a more precise level if you just get enough removes. And well-laid plans is, you know, you're supposed to take it. I just think it's cheese, because it's you know, it's just a dishonest feeling card to me. Like, oh yeah, I'll just hold on to my acrobatics and my grand finale. Like, nah. I just don't want to take it because it's like, it just feels icky. You know, you don't need it. It's kind of a crutch in a lot of ways. And I'll kind of try to show you why. I should be able to show you why. It might be in Act 4. Or it might even be sooner. But no, I just don't feel like taking well-laid plans. Because, okay, you take this and you're doing great. Like, you know, good job. You're doing awesome. Get to hold my cards. I got my plans. But it's you know. And also, I don't want anyone saying something along the lines of, oh, nice. That's kind of the reason why I skip Wraith form. I don't want people being like, oh, tricky, nice, well-laid plans. Good thing you got that well-laid plans for Time Eater, or you would have died. Stuff like that. Which admittedly kind of gets under my skin a little bit. I'm working on that. But yeah, I don't mind skipping stuff like that because I don't think that you need it. And if you're playing to increase your chance of winning as much as possible and you're just scared for your life that you're gonna lose the run, then you take this. But otherwise, I think it's a crutch. I think that a lot of times this even makes someone a little bit worse of a player if they find themselves really, really leaning into a card like this and multiple copies of it. Like, I just kind of, I have a thing against this card right now, because I realize how powerful it is, especially since playing Defect a lot and taking Equilibrium a lot. Like, whoa, retaining cards in your hand is actually super insane. So, I'm gonna just skip it for now. I think it also is just a little bit uninspiring, because, like, it just, you know, you get away with it. You get away with not playing your cards like efficiently or properly, or not understanding the mechanics of your deck, because you just are able to hold your cards whenever. So it's really not even are we out of strikes? Okay. Wow. That's actually kind of creepy though. That's actually a little bit. No way, man. That's kind of creepy. What? What are the chances? My mind is kind of blown right now. What? Well, now I have to decide if I want to purge that or not. Because it's a power card and it at least leaves the deck after you play it. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even... Alright. Okay. Okay. Because I can't carry that now that I just went on that huge tirade about it. That was so... I can't even believe that. Am I recording this? I am? Oh, man. That is something else. That's something else. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. Wait, let's see if we can't. So, okay, what do you do here? What do you do here? If you're trying to play Grand Finale. What do you do here? How much is this drawing if you play it right now? How many cards are in your hand? 8? So we play this. How many is it drawing? You're supposed to draw 4. But you have a hand size limit of 10. This is drawn 3. You're looking for backflip. Ooh! 103? Akabeko Vajra Marbles Grand Finale. Wow! Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can't. The Deflect Plus is kind of cool. There are times for that card. If we had Reflex, that would be the time for that card. You gamble away. Like if this Tactician was a Reflex and we were starved for energy, in other words, like we didn't have an energy solution. Because like I said, Acro, Backflip, Tactician, like this is a block positive infinite combo right here. And with Survivor as well, like this is block positive infinite. So if you didn't have this and instead had a Reflex and you were doing something like Gamble, Reflex, redrawing, Gamble and Reflex, then you could be dumping a block into that combo with the Deflect. So that's an interesting Deflect Plus. Oh yeah, we'll pick that up too, I guess. I can't believe that. Wow! Pen nib? This is a great floor, by the way. Just the fact that we're able to remove another defend. Another catalyst for your poison deck? Smiling Mask, by the way. Ooh, but the card rewards in the Ori. The Ori cards. Oh man. But then what are you gonna do when this event node is another shop and it has Chemex in it? No, I don't even think we need cards. Like I said, this deck just doesn't need cards. It just doesn't need cards. Like, what cards does this need? Nightmare would be nice. It doesn't need it, but it would be cool. Be flashy. It could use like another Acro, maybe. But I think Backflip and Acro should get us there. Let's just move along. Save money for more card removes. And for Chemex. The prospect of Chemex remains. So then we Backflip, and then we Adrenaline, and then we just gamble everything away. Yeah, like this deck's insane. Like that card remove, we just did 2 removes in a row. That was incredible. Yeah, we don't even need card rewards. We don't even need to look at them. We don't even need to look at them, to be honest. Gamble Brew over Dexpot. We don't need to look at card rewards. Should I do a light flex and not even look at these and just keep moving on? People like to see card rewards. Oh, but the 1000 cuts are rare. Finally, the game's given us another rare card. And yeah, we are happy about Sapphire Key there. Fight. This deck destroys Time Eater, by the way. Like, this deck absolutely just... I don't even know if Time Eater lives turn 2 here. We'll see. Bye! Now we're moving. Now this deck is 10 cards. When Adrenaline and Ascender's Bane exhaust. That's it, right? That's the only cards that exhaust. Should be the only cards that exhaust. Don't you burn me, Nemesis. The gear, yeah, thanks. Smoke Bomb? Nah. Maybe. But nah. If that's transient, you just Smoke Bomb transient. Whoops. Whoops, I dropped these. Whoops. Ooh, another backflip though. Actually, another backflip. Another backflip though, actually. Nah. Nah. You don't need any cards. I mean, I shouldn't say you don't need any cards, because I don't really know. Maybe you do need something else. I really think you don't. I think that backflip, like, we have a 10 card deck, you know? Backflip, acro, tactician. That's infinite. But a second backflip is a little tempting. There might be something I'm missing here, and you do need another backflip. Let me think. I'm gonna say nah, you don't need it. But I will admit, I'm thinking about it. It's not an acro and it's not a reflex. This is a 10 card deck. This should be infinite. This should just be infinite as is. Right? When these two exhaust. Well, they plans. Shouldn't have said I don't need any other cards. Need a second one. Oh man, this ghost in the jar. That'll really help. That'll help make sure we don't die against Time Eater. Oh man. We could say goodbye to Dagger Spray. Thank you for your service. We also say thank you for your service. Onward. Although the setup was kind of cool. Oh, the Writhing Mass. Now this encounter, this is truly one of the most terrifying encounters in the Spire, with the curse that it can give you and the, oh, whoops, it's gone. Ooh, well-laid plans. Oh no, dude, this game is so funny. I can't believe that. This does not need to concentrate. At this point, this is a cool card with Skewer. You know, the idea being Skewer appreciates it, and especially with Akabeko, it appreciates it when you dump all your energy into it. And in other words, that would mean you're not playing a lot of other cards on the turn you're playing Skewer sometimes. And that would be what Concentrate helps with, you know, because Concentrate's just, it'll be like, oh, you don't want to play other cards and you want more energy? Well, we'll just discard your other cards and give you energy. And Skewer's like, thanks. And then you could start taking stuff like Reflex. And Concentrate with Reflex is, that is the good stuff. But we can move along here. You should not need well-laid plans. You should not need to have taken multiples. And what are we, I mean, we could upgrade one of these. I'm gonna use the Giria that Nemesis, was it Nemesis that gave that? I'm gonna use the Giria from Nemesis. Alright. Oh man, I already feel just helpless, man. Time Eater is a hard counter to infinites. That's the real reason you don't need well-laid plans. Okay, so I'll kind of show you what I was talking about how you can control what you draw next turn, and that's why you don't need well-laid plans. I can show it a lot better in this fight, because this is actually a fight that has to go to turn 2, you know what I mean? So, so Waco one will be better to demonstrate that on. Alright, so now what? You just pass turn here? You just end turn? Because we don't have well-laid plans? We don't have well-laid plans or Wraith forms, so... You just pass turn here, right? So, well, let's do it like this. So first of all, this is what I'm planning as a block solution for Act 4 against the Heart. We upgrade backflip just to be sure, but this is a, this is infinite energy, infinite card draw, infinite block, infinite damage, so that's what I'm planning, because this card is mad underrated, by the way, like this card right here. So you can infinite block with Survivor in a lot of circumstances. So when you have something like this, and Defect gets himself in a lot of situations like this too, where you are just able to generate infinite energy and infinite card draw and infinite block. One thing that you could do here is, so if we play this backflip, you agree that it's drawing Acro and Tactician, right? Well, what happens if we do something like this, and then we play backflip? So what's in here? Tactician, right? So, that's fine, we can just draw it back. Because we could agree that, well, right now, we've exhausted Adrenaline, we're going to get this exhausted, so the deck is effectively 9 cards, right? So if we could draw Acrobatics next turn, and with the other 4 cards that are going to be in our hand, you agreed that Acrobatics would be drawn the rest of the deck. If this is our hand next turn, 4 cards and Acrobatics, this is drawing these 4, we could backflip back into Acrobatics and whatever card it discarded, and we can do this little loop again, right? So, so how do we get there? Well, we need to stack Acrobatics on top of our draw pile. So how can we do that? We could do something like play another card, like Grand Finale or, Defend. And now, what is this? What's this card? So you get Acrobatics next turn. And the way that works is it's just, and I can kind of show this in Act 4 as well. But the whole idea is that, so if we backflip now is drawing Acrobatics and Tactician. If we do something like play Grand Finale, then we're backflipping and we're trying to pull out this Tactician and this Grand Finale. And if we instead draw Acrobatics here, then we just play it. Then we could just play it and reset the whole situation and force the game to eventually leave Acrobatics on top of the draw pile. Because if it's not here when we play backflip there, then that means it's going to our hand. And we can just use this Tactician over and over. Like, look at our energy. So it's an energy positive infinite. And yeah, so that's why I say when you're in a situation that is an energy infinite, like a block positive energy infinite, whatever term you want to assign to it, well, you should be able to control what you draw next turn by dumping the other cards out from your hand, with the idea of playing a draw card to reshuffle your discard pile into your draw pile. And then that puts you in a situation of either you continue the infinite, or either you draw your draw card and continue the infinite, or the draw card is in your draw pile and you're good to go for next turn. So right now, what am I doing? I am gonna get a big skewer. Very big skewer. A very, very big one. I don't know why people tend to think that Time Eater counters infinites. Like, it should go without saying that if you have really good card draw, that you have a good match against the boss that gives you draw reduction. you know? Like, that should just be a given. And also being able to end your turn, like, whenever you want, leaving Time Eater's counter on whatever you want, that is valuable, you know? The fight gets really hard when you're in these situations and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should play such and such because next turn maybe I want to play this, and then, oh no, I'm only getting to see 4 cards next turn because of draw reduction. It's like, if you have good card draw and you're able to decide when Time Eater ends your turn, you should be doing very well in that fight. Like, it's not really a counter to infinites. Time Eater's a counter to infinites that, you know, don't have very good damage output, or really just infinites that is basically if your infinite has poor damage output, or if your infinite, oh, we're already there. Poor damage output or no block solution, then you might be in some trouble. Still, we're at full health. Like, anyway. Chemex. Let's upgrade this backflip, just to be certain. It should be block positive without it, but that might save time. No Chemex. There were a lot of shops too. Smiling Mask with the 625 gold save. This relic is insane. It's amazing relic. I kind of want this. I kind of like this purity. I really do like the purity. This is an 8-card deck. Once Adrenaline and Ascender's Bane exhaust, there will be a Burn and the Wound in the deck. This should be infinite. This should be infinite. What happens if... Let me think real quick. I need to use the bathroom real quick, and I'm gonna think real quick, because we might want to buy that purity. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Here's the deal. I've been kind of incoherently rambling to myself, so I'll probably just cut all that out and try to explain it more precisely here, okay? What we are looking at right now, just like, you just look at this. This is a turn 5 forced win against the heart, okay? This is winning every time. And we could start with, so we draw our opening hand, and it's impossible for us to not see a draw card in there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our 7th card has to be a draw card, you know? So turn 1, we are totally fine. And we can prepare for turn 2 by stacking acrobatics on top of our draw pile, like we did against the Awakened one, right? So, the thing is, this is a 10-card deck. It's really 8 cards. Once Ascender's Bane and Adrenaline leave, it's really 8 cards. Alright? The Heart puts 5 statuses in our draw pile, 3 of which exhaust. The Burn and the Wound remain. So it's a 10-card deck that we're dealing with here. You could imagine Ascender's Bane as Burn and Adrenaline as Wound. Just, you know, humor me. So that would be what we're playing with, is these 8 cards and a Burn and a Wound, replacing Ascender's Bane and Adrenaline. 10 cards. Nice. That's the hand size limit. That means that we should be able to infinite without any obstruction during it. The issue is, on any hypothetical turn, aside from turn 2, let's say, turn 3 or turn 4 or turn X, whatever, just assign some turn n, assign some value to it, where our preparations for next turn are stacking acrobatics on top of the drop pile, like we did against Awaken one. So let's say on turn n, we draw a hand of this acrobatics and Grand Finale, Neutralize, Skewer, and Burn. Okay? We play this acrobatics, and let's say it draws Wound, Gamble, Survivor, and Tactician, leaving Backflip as the only remaining card in our draw pile. So when we have these 5 cards in our hand, we play acrobatics. We go down to 4 cards in hand. Acrobatics draws these 4 and then discards 1. So after acrobatics has resolved at the start of our turn, when we play it, we are left with 7 cards remaining in our hand. The last card should be Backflip. Let's say, because that would be the worst case, is if Backflip is the last card in our draw pile. Then we calculate a gamble. We have 7 cards in hand, so we play this gamble, and we're gambling 6 cards away. Alright, we would be gambling these 6, because, or something like that, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? We're not gambling 7, there's no way. Because we're saying acrobatics, because acrobatics had to discard 1, right? So let's say we discarded Tactician with acrobatics. So we'd be gambling away 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would be drawing this Backflip. And then we would be drawing 5 more cards. Gamble is going to go to the discard pile after its effect is resolved. So we're drawing Backflip, and then we're drawing 5 more. We're drawing, let's say, Wound, Grand Finale, Neutralize, Skewer, and Burn. Alright? Gamble goes to the discard pile. In the draw pile remains Survivor, Tactician, and Acrobatics. We play this Backflip, and there is just a small chance that Acrobatics is the last card in our draw pile, and our turn ends, and then we are in some serious trouble. The thing is that we can prevent this situation from occurring because we can actually stack more than 1 card on top of our draw pile than just this Acrobatics. And that's kind of the kicker, is that, well, to be precise, and this is a forced win against the heart, like, just this deck is, you just present this deck to the heart, and it's 1. You know, this is a 1 fight. The heart can't do anything about this. This is just, it's over. The thing is that you need to stack both Acrobatics and Backflip on top of the draw pile in order for a turn N to not result in that case where Acrobatics is drawing Tactician, or is just drawing every card that's not Backflip. Then you have to gamble into the Backflip, and then Backflip might not redraw this Acrobatics. You can prevent that by stacking Acrobatics and Backflip on top of the draw pile, and that involves on turn N-1, okay, so the turn before the turn where I'm talking about, where you just stack Acrobatics on top of the draw pile. Instead, the way that you get both Acro and Backflip on top is, from what I see here, it's just playing Calculated Gamble over and over again until you don't redraw Backflip and Acro, because that, it would mean, and it would have to mean, that they are the only 2 cards remaining in your draw pile. So you have to gamble away 8 cards, and then have the only 2 cards left be Backflip and Acro. And that's going to take forever. That's the thing. That's just going to take forever. And that's just ignoring Adrenaline for now, because we're definitely not supposed to play Adrenaline on turn 1 against the heart. We're supposed to save this for future turns. So I'm just debating on whether or not I want to truly demonstrate that this is a forced win against the heart as is, at the expense of what could just be at least an extra half hour or hour. Because the only way to ensure that we are okay on turn N is to play gamble a million times the turn prior and leave only acro and backflip in the draw pile. Because alternatively what we could do is we could just buy this purity, use it to exhaust one card, and then we can force a win against the heart by purely just stacking acrobatics on top of the draw pile and nothing else. This is kind of convoluted stuff, and it'll make more sense once we get in the fight. But it's very, very particular. It's a small chance that this fails as is if you are only stacking acro on top of the draw pile. But with precise, calculated play, and by calculated, I mean playing calculated gamble over and over and over and over and over again until it gives you the cards that you are... like, this is kind of a hypocritical card as well, in addition to well-laid plans being kind of hypocritical, if you know what I mean. But I'm just kind of going on a tangent here. You're supposed to do something other than just leave the shop right now. It could be anything. It could be buy this for the vulnerable, for the heart. It could be this for, you know, for block, if you want to make sure that you can block a little more. It could be this to exhaust a card, for this obscure thing that I'm doing a terrible job making clear to everyone. You know, it could be any of those things. I say that we go ahead and set the fairy free, and you know, we'll work it out. If it comes up, then it comes up. I don't mind kind of showing that, because it is valuable to just know that. I don't want to just be blowing smoke here. I want to show you how it is a forced win against the heart, because now now that I've said that, I kind of need to put my money where my mouth is, or whatever. So this fight, the Act 4 Elites. Yeah, now this fight is, that turn 2 that these guys give you, that is just so nasty with the burns on top of the draw pile, and it is just easily my least favorite fight. I swear I die to them sometimes more often than I die to the corrupt heart itself. Oh, they only have like 125 and 180 health. Yikes. Swift Potion, that is something that could help me get away with it, for sure. Okay, nothing in here though. That's fine. That's fine. So this is this fight is won, like, for sure. Especially with this, just in case I mess up somewhere while trying to talk and play and demonstrate to you what I'm talking about, some of the hypothetical situations, because there could be something I'm not seeing here. But this should just be one. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with just damage capping the heart this turn. Alright, seems like a good place to start. And that's the most important thing to know about this fight as well, is that the heart only attacks you twice if you kill it in 5 turns. Like, it's kind of understated. You know, you can end this fight in 5 turns, in 4 turns. The heart is only attacking you twice. So if you do something like have Wraith form, or have Fairy in the bottle, or Ghost in the jar, and you have a solution for the second attack, like, you can play this fight as you just damage cap the heart with, like, every turn over the course of 4 turns or 5 turns with some, you know, maybe, and that's typically what happens to me. Is turn 2 is not as fixated on damaging the heart because you got to manage the statuses. So if over the course of 5 turns you're able to do 800 damage to the heart with no more than 200 damage a turn, of course, you're only getting attacked twice. So just have some plan for those 2 attacks. And also, like, look at our health. I don't even remember when the last time we took damage was, aside from that beat to death hit right there, you know? So it's like you got health for 1 hit, and then you could do something like Ghost in the Jar for the other hit. And then, you know, you just kill the heart on turn 5 when it's trying to attack you again. You could do that. Like, that's a very, very, you know, that works. That's a way you can approach this fight. So, we should just end turn right now, though, you know, because we don't have well-laid plans, right? So we can't plan for next turn, yeah? So, like we did against the Awakened one, this is what I was trying to talk about. Like we did against the Awakened one, okay? Acrobatics for next turn, right? But I don't think that's good enough. That's the thing. I don't think that's good enough. There's just no way that that's good enough. We could stack Adrenaline on top of the draw pile as well. And let's start with that. So yeah, you can stack multiple cards. This is the same situation we're in before, you agree? Where, you know, I was showing you that we could do like this and try to get aggro in as the only card in the draw pile. This is the same situation. Well, let's say we want to draw something like Acrobatics and Adrenaline next turn. We can do that by using Survivor. We can discard Adrenaline and use Backflip to try to pull out Survivor and Tactician, right? And that would leave Adrenaline and Acro in the draw pile. But it happened the opposite of how I just said, you know? So, and we could also Acro and not even discard Tactician. We could do something like discard Gamble if we wanted to, Survivor to discard Adrenaline, and then Backflip to try to pull out, I don't know, Survivor and Gamble, Survivor and... Let's just keep it simple. So Acro, discard Tactician, Survivor, discard Adrenaline, Backflip, Tactician and Adrenaline, that's no good. That leaves Survivor and Acro in here. Gamble everything away. Use Acro to grab everything back. Right back to where we started. And we can force the game to give us Acrobatics and Adrenaline in here. That's probably better than just having Acrobatics in the draw pile. Also, just in my experience, when the heart is putting 5 statuses in the draw pile, the game tends to let you have one of these cards. You know, it's not gonna put both of these cards at the very bottom of your draw pile, okay? So, so with that in mind, I don't think that this is good enough either, because if we can help it, we would rather just hold on to this Adrenaline still, you know? In other words, if it were possible, we would be happier if we could get both Acrobatics and Backflip into the draw pile for next turn. And we would not have an obligation to play Adrenaline as soon as possible like we would if we had put it in there for next turn, specifically with the idea of playing it next turn, right? Just like having this Adrenaline still floating around seems useful. So, excuse me. So, well, and this is not that inspiring, but you can gamble for 8 cards here. No, that's not right. That's not right. Sorry about that. That's not right. This is what's right. You gamble 7 away. And, well, the idea here is, now, you're trying to get these 2 cards in the draw pile to be Acro and Backflip. Yeah, that's the idea. And if you don't get them to be Acro and Backflip, then that means you just play Acrobatics or Backflip to draw back into the gamble, and you would be playing Acro, I guess, in this case, because it's quicker. Just Acro, discard Tactician, gamble. Oh, we drew Acro and Backflip again, so Acro, discard Tactician, gamble. And you would just do this So we got backflip in here. That's not bad, but we need both acro and backflip in there. So this is a forced win, but I can't think of another way to force acro and backflip into the draw pile other than this. So now acro's in here, acro and grand finale. That's a little bit worse than acro and adrenaline, right? So this is what you are to do. And you do this until acro and backflip are the only cards in your Yes! I don't know what the probability of that is, but nice. So, cool. That's that didn't take as long as I thought it might. Cause I was contemplating, you know, not even bothering with that and just buying purity, exhausting a couple of cards so that we could just ensure. Like, I'll show you how it unfolds right now. In fact, I don't even think, because we drew Void and Dazed, I don't even think you're supposed to backflip here. 1, 2, 3 cards. That's 7 cards in the discard pile. 1, 2. So there's going to be 10 cards in the discard pile. 1, 2, and then backflip. Or, hang on. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 7 cards in the draw pile. That's what confused me. That's what I just said. There will be 7 cards left in the draw pile for next turn. After we draw these 2 and 3 more, we play the acrobatics to draw 4 of them. And it is just possible that Gamble, Adrenaline, and Backflip are the last 3 cards in the draw pile, right? Right? Yeah. Granted, you know, we do have this, but I think that if this is a forced win like I think it is, you're supposed to backflip here. If anything, just to pull out this slimed. But nonetheless, it's still possible to draw a hand like Tactician, Grand Finale, Skewer, Wound, and Burn next turn. So I think you have to play Acro. So we are getting Gamble next turn as well. And we are getting Adrenaline next turn, so I think you are supposed to just pass turn here. We have Orichalcum, so we don't need to play Survivor. And, you know, we have health to spare, so we just take this 30. It should be 50. Nice. Makes me look good at the game. So I think that this is winning, yeah. And let us play Adrenaline, and we are definitely drawing either Backflip or Acrobatics there. So this is winning. I was right, nice. And I'm happy that it didn't take too long to prove what point I was making. It'll be easier to show what I was talking about now that we're composed and we are conducting our infinite right now as is. Oh, that was a little sloppy on my end. Now we have to gamble to grab Acro back, but this is no different than we had it on turn 1, right? Just imagining Wound and Burn replaced with Adrenaline and a Cinder's Bane, right? So this is a block positive infinite against Beat to Death 2 while frail. And as you notice, it's also energy positive, right? So now let's go ahead and full block. But the thing is that this is 10 cards, so I'll show you what I'm talking about here. And we have Swift Potion as well, just in case, which is cool that the Spire elites, the Act 4 elites, were trying to help out a little bit. They were saying, don't worry about it, show the people. As I can see Spire Spear saying that. Don't worry about it, show the people. Yeah. Alright, so this is... So let's set acrobatics on top of the draw pile, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, alright? I'll show the people. And this is the same thing that we've been doing, just trying to get aggro as the only card remaining in the draw pile. So now next turn, like, we can just pass turn and I'll show you, because we have this to bail us out if needed. You can play this here, and if backflip is the last card in the draw pile, then that means that you are at least drawing calculated gamble. Well, then... Okay, so we get backflip anyway, but... like, if it wasn't... And if we drew the skewer instead... then we would be gambling 6 cards away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drawing this backflip is right here. Drawing 5 more cards as all of our cards get reshuffled except for this gamble, which will go to the discard pile after everything is done. And we draw like Wound, Grand Finale, Survivor, Neutralize, and Burn. Let's say that we just draw all these same cards again, and we draw a backflip. And gamble goes to the discard pile. Then that would mean... Oh man, I'm not being clear. I want to be clear. That's all I want. Is to be able to word my thoughts properly. Maybe it'll do it next turn. Maybe I'll be able to make sense next turn. Also, it's just nice. This turn 4 is really nice in general in the heart fight because we're not frail anymore. So in some instances, with other decks too, I mean, this just goes for any deck in general. Just not being frail feels good. So acrobatics is on top of the draw pile for next turn. Let's see if it gives us. Because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do the gamble over and over thing until we get just aggro and backflip on top of the draw pile, which could take forever. But, you know, we have this just in case. So we should just draw backflip anyway. Okay. But what I'm saying is, if you aggro here, and backflip is the last card, then you have to gamble into that backflip, and then that backflip could just not redraw this acrobatics. You're a little bit low on card draw at that point, where you're aggroing into gamble, and then gambling into this backflip that's on the bottom, and then you backflip, and it's possible that acrobatics is the last card in your draw pile and your turn ends. That said, if you stack aggro and backflip on top, like, I want to kind of prolong this fight just to show what I'm talking about, because I think it's kind of important, but it's only important because I've made it sound as such. The fact is that this fight is winning with just this deck alone as soon as we walk up to the Corrupt Heart and click on it. And that, I just think that's kind of cool that this fight is won. Unless I am missing something. But yeah, you should, as long as you're able to stack backflip and aggro on top of the draw pile, which you do by just doing this, like, and then you just get aggro and backflip to be in here like we did on turn 1. It's just that that takes forever. Like, aggro, gamble. Oh, I drew aggro. Okay, aggro, gamble. Okay, then it's... Because I don't know what the chances are that both of these are, you know, these two. But it's not the best chances. Still, you have infinite card draw, infinite energy, infinite block, so you can force it. So it's just good to know you can force it. And that's why and hey, I pick up Well-Laid Plans, okay? I pick up Wraith Form. I pick those cards up. It's just that, you know, I think that Well-Laid Plans is kind of a hypocritical name. Because, to me, you know, something like, okay, acrobatics and then finale and then backflip and then, oh, I get acrobatics next turn or I don't, like, to me, putting acrobatics on top of the draw pile for next turn, that's a well-laid plan. You know, that's... So, I just think it's kind of funny because the card is kind of the opposite of a well-laid plan. You know, oh, I'm just gonna hold all my cards for exactly when I need them at any point in time, and because card advantage is good. Like, that is not a well-laid plan to me. That is just you auto-clicking a very useful card because it allows you to ignore your fundamentals as a silent player and to not really think things through, and then to have an excuse for when you lose. I couldn't find well-laid plans, or something to that effect. All I needed was one well-laid plans. All I needed was a second well-laid plans. Like, what are you talking about? You needed a second well-laid plans? I've heard people say that before. Like, what are you talking about? What? Like, what? Are you just drooling over your keyboard? Because you don't even know when you're supposed to play your cards? You just need to have them at any given moment because you don't know how to manage your resources and your energy on your turns? So you just... I'm just messing around because I pick those cards up too. Because they're good, like Wraith Form, Well-Laid Plans, whatever. They're good. They get the job done. But what are you gonna do in a run where you don't have those? Like, that's what I'm interested in. Because, you know, I'm gonna set it up again. Because what I really want to get this point across. Like, you know, this is winning right now, by the way. Forced win on turn 5. But I just want to get this point across. Because this is important to me. So we have Acro in here. Not good enough. Not good enough. As I was trying to show you, it's just not good enough. You need to get both Acro and backflip in there. But depending on how long that takes, I might just not. I might just not. I want it to... No, you know what? Let's do it so that we get just acrobatics in the draw pile for next turn. That's fine, right? Like, you know, this is winning right here, right now. But just to show you, the issue is that playing any card in our hand, like, almost kills the heart, and I don't want to kill the heart just yet. Let me get one draw card in the draw pile for next turn. One draw card, please. Okay. We'll just rock that for now. How about that? So... Backflip be the last card, backflip be the last card. No. Okay, I'll show it to you like this, okay? So let me just discard backflip. So we got Grand Finale in there as the last card, okay. Let me... come on. So if you imagine this is backflip, like... Or imagine Grand Finale's imagine Acrobatics is in the draw pile and it's the last card in the draw pile. And imagine this Grand Finale is backflip. If you play backflip here, Acrobatics could be the last card in the draw pile and your turn ends. But, you know, it's very slim chance, as you can see here. And that's kind of what I was afraid of, was that gambling until we got just Acro and backflip in the draw pile would be too tedious. And also that it seems... that I think that that's right, that I'm right here. That I think I'm right. Yeah, I mean, I am right. But, no, I'm just messing around. But, oh man, does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. I don't know what's supposed to make sense, but I just don't want, you know, we can't get away with just stacking acrobatics in the draw pile here. And that's just because with one more card remove, we would be okay. We'd be 100% of the time. But there is a small percentage chance where you cannot just stack acrobatics on top of the draw pile and get away with it. And that line is what I've been trying to describe as, you know, you have acrobatics and 4 other cards in your hand. You play acro, backflip is the last card in the draw pile, so that means you drew gamble. So you play gamble and you gamble into backflip, and then you can backflip, and then there's a chance acro is the last card in the discard, in the draw pile. In the draw pile. And then you have acro is the last card in your draw pile and gamble in your discard pile, and you can't do anything. Your turn ends. So that is losing. Like, just stacking acro on top of the draw pile is losing, you know, assuming that we also don't have that. And the only way to make sure that you are not losing 100% of the time is to stack acro and backflip on top of your draw pile, doing something like this, and getting the last 2 cards to be acrobatics and backflip. The thing is that I was afraid that that would take too long and would be too tedious or obnoxious to explain, or that I would do a poor job explaining it, because, you know, I don't really make videos like this, and you guys are awesome. I just don't really know at what point I'm gonna lose you guys, or if at what point what I'm saying even makes sense to someone, if it'll even make sense to me when I watch it in the morning, you know. So I was thinking, should I just buy this purity, or and it's like a do I take the red pill type of deal. You know, we could go down the rabbit hole if we want, and I guess we kind of did, but this is what I do, and this is what I love doing, and I think discard decks are super addicting and a lot of fun, and you know, and we win last turn as well. It's just that I wanted to show this, and like, as you can see, it's taken forever to get both acro and backflip as the last 2 cards in the draw pile, so I'm happy that it happened for us as early as it did the first time through, because now I can't seem to replicate it anyway. And this is what I was trying to avoid, but I knew that this was winning on turn 5, like a forced win on turn 5. I knew that. I just didn't know if I wanted to have half of this video being every turn me gambling away over and over, just acro gamble until just backflip and acro are the remaining cards in the draw pile, because I had theorized this situation in which you're only stacking acro on top of the draw pile and backflip is the last card. Then you have to gamble into backflip, and then backflip might not be able to redraw acro. Got it? I want to play another run at this point. Yeah, this is just like, this was what I was trying to avoid, and straight up, you exhaust 1 card from Purity, that Purity that was in the shop or something, then all you need to do is stack acrobatics on top of the draw pile, because then the deck is 9 cards, because it's still 10 right now, right? But when the deck becomes 9 cards, then acrobatics is drawing backflip 100% of the time, so you can get away with just stacking acro on top and nothing else. This has taken forever, so this is what I was trying to avoid. It's kind of a strange situation, like very, very, and that's, a lot of these situations are kind of like that. That's, I guess, a lot of the appeal of this game is that this is unique, but it's replicable, and it is, you know, these are common cards and uncommon cards. Like, these situations do show up. There's just enough overlap for you to learn something every time, and there's also just enough non-overlap for you to learn something every time. And I'm not exactly sure what I learned here, aside from, wow, this takes a lot more iterations than I thought it would. Because I thought about this, and you can't just get away with stacking Acro and Adrenaline on top. You need to, because you're losing all the card draw from those statuses, you really need... Yeah, this is just taking forever. I was surprised that... Because I thought it would take longer than it did take the first time, and it turns out that it apparently is supposed to take longer than it took. So, I know it's a little lame saying that I said it was a forced win on turn 5 and then not winning on turn 5, but that's because I spared the heart. And just to do this, I guess. For really no reason, because I just wanted to kind of highlight what I was talking about. Like, it's given backflip and acrobatics every time. I don't know what to say. I don't know when to stop either. Look at our energy, by the way. That's a big skewer, huh? Yeah, so it is a forced win if you... I don't want the moral of this run to be pick up well-laid plans or, you know, anything like that. I just wanted to show that... Oh, whatever, man, whatever. So yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid happening, and ironically I ended up doing it anyway. Even though I already proved it the first time around, I was just trying to show, man. I was just trying to show you stuff. That's all I want to do, is just show you stuff and think about this game and talk about it. Share my thoughts. My refreshing takes on the Slay the Spire Silent. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Thank you. Thanks. That's all I wanted. That took so long. So now this is always okay, right? Because you backflip here and acro draws backflip again. And then you're like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why you are supposed to stack acro and backflip on top of the draw pile, and why you cannot get away with just stacking acro and gamble on top. Or excuse me, with stacking just acro. I don't know how you would stack acro and gamble on top. Something like Survivor, discard acro, and then backflip into... Oh, I guess that works too, huh? Acro and stack gamble on top. And then you would do something like Survivor, discard burn, and then backflip to try to pull out burn and Survivor. Yeah, I guess that works too, huh? The more you know. That was quicker and easier, huh? Was it though? Because you acro, and backflip is the last card in the draw pile. And then you gotta gamble to get to that backflip, and now there is just a chance that backflip does not redraw acro. And there it is. This is what you try to avoid. I'm so happy that it came full circle and I could show you. This is the situation where you think you're okay because you have acro and you have gamble. Like, I just led you on to believe that we were okay with having just acro and gamble in there. And finally, yes, Now my point makes sense, right? Because your turn is ending here. Granted, you know, we still win the fight. We won the fight 3 turns ago. But you see now? That's what happens. You can't be lazy because of stuff like this. So anyway, like, yeah, if I understand this might not be your thing and you're not super into that and you're going to pick up well-laid plans in Wraith form, good, you know, whatever. I'm just showing that, you know, for the circumstances where you don't have it, like, utilize discard mechanics, count your cards, think about stuff, because this is what I enjoy about the game. I find discard decks really interesting and really addicting, and these fundamentals, like, about how many cards are, you know, you're reshuffling and all, like, whatever is in your draw pile, discard pile, just knowing what's in there, knowing, you know, reshuffles, all of this stuff. This shows up in, like, other card games. It's just useful. So it's useful, transferable, you know, useful to some. It's interesting, at least to me, right? Because I'm so happy that this happened this way. That's really cool. Because I wanted to show you that you can't get away with just stacking aggro on top, stacking aggro and gamble. You need both of those cards that are putting more cards in your hand to make sure that they can access each other, at least in this situation. And that's just because we have a 10-card deck and we can't count on acrobatics drawing the other card that draws 2 for us. I really hope that is understandable to a certain degree. That heart fight alone was like a half-hour long, and, you know, like, yeah, I know you don't want to beat yourself over the head and gamble a million times. Like, that wasn't the most appealing way to demonstrate that you don't need well-laid plans or Wraith form, but, you know, there was a Swift Potion that we threw out, right? And there were, like, a bunch of ways to just get away with it, you know? Like Wraith form, like Ghost in a Jar, like Fairy in the Bottle, like whatever, you know? Just the overall point of this is all you need to do is have some plan for the first 2 attacks against the heart, and you can win by turn 5 with a deck that has a really good damage output, like an infinite deck like this. So, beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't know why I can't just go to my deck right here on the victory screen. I like click it and it doesn't. So I have to go to the settings and then click on the deck. I don't know if anyone else has that issue or if it's just me. But, or like maybe it's a mod that I use, I don't know. But, oh, I want to go over the mods that I use too. I'll probably do that at the start of the video. Anyway. Very, very pretty deck. And yeah, there was kind of a lot to unpack there, but really it's not a whole lot. I'm gonna try to stop explaining it now, but I'm really happy that I managed to demonstrate back-to-back the acrobatics and backflip turn versus turn like acrobatics and gamble. That's cool. Because that made me feel like I wasn't just... I was able to paint a picture. I was able to actually show how you get in trouble in that circumstance, instead of just talking about the theory. So, let's look at the run history for that run. And, you know, I don't want to just be blowing smoke when I say that it's a forced win and then, you know, I want to back that up. So maybe it wasn't the prettiest, but just showing you this is all you need to get by. And in a lot of cases you need less than this. You know, we just needed special attention to how we played this one, because at the end of the day we kind of had a lack of card draw. You were supposed to take the second backflip, more than likely. Okay, so like it was Nemesis, right? It was Nemesis, yeah, the backflip here. You're supposed to take that more than likely in order to prevent, because taking this backflip prevents that situation I just described from occurring. That I kind of illustrated for you. And the last turn of the heart fight. That, if you take a second backflip, it prevents that from happening. So you were supposed to take a second backflip. But I guess I was brazen, and just was like, no, we don't need it. But you do need it if you don't want to do what I did and make sure that you don't lose by gambling and stacking both acrobatics and backflip on top of the draw pile. It's not, you know, perhaps I wanted to just prove too much at a certain point. Maybe it was when I passed up the orrery and I was like, we don't need cards. Then I kind of felt like I was supposed to stick to that we don't need cards thing. But yeah, like straight up, you take one more backflip, all you need to do is stack acro on top for next turn. Easy. As easy as what we did in Awaken 1, like just like that. Also, nice boss. Anyway, yeah, like we just straight up taking no. Okay, we took damage from book of stabbing. That guy has a lot of health. All right, took damage from collector. I think that was the only damage that we took in. Like, we didn't take any damage in Act 3. That was the only damage we took in Act 2. Like, and then against the heart we had to take damage. So anyway, wow, we actually destroying all these fights too. I didn't realize we took no damage in all of those. Took 12 against the Laga, 7 against Sentries, 5 against Hexagons. We took like very little damage throughout the course of the run, really. It's like 20, so like 30 damage in all of Act 2. 72 damage, it felt like very little. Anyway. Nice. Oh yeah, Relic Stats. So there was no Chemex, and that is ever so slightly disappointing. But it's still very beautiful set of relics to 825 gold smiling mask. I don't know. Relic is kind of nice. It's kind of underrated. Granted, I mean, look at this. Just like 2 event shops and an event shop up here. What can I say? The good old Dreamcatcher, the Juzu bracelet, which procced over here, right? Because this is where we had like 2 shrine events back to back. So it was one of these, more than likely. And a pair and a fan, 2 block a turn. Nice. I never understood what the point of these ninja relics are, you know? Fan and kunai and shuriken. I mean, what's even the point of shuriken? Like, okay, you play grand finale 3 times and, you know, you gain 1 strength or 1 dexterity and like the enemy's dead, so I just don't really I don't see it.